Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I wanted to recap Verizon announcing their second quarter earnings this morning. And on this recap, I wanted to take a step back and be very objective about the quarter and give you guys my take on what transpired during this quarter and what I think can happen in Q3 and Q4 based off of the momentum of this second quarter. So Verizon had a very solid quarter by the numbers, but internally, this was the biggest second quarter Verizon's ever had. So that's very likely why they called it record breaking. And I'll just show you guys very briefly. They added 275,000 wireless postpaid phone subscribers for the quarter. So total, it was about 500,000. So they posted some decent numbers. The stock's up, revenue is up, and after listening in on the entire earnings call, even through the Q&A, they did a lot of things right. I got to give them credit where credit's due. 60% of the brand new accounts that they gained this past quarter, Q2, 60% of them got into premium unlimited. That's a big milestone for Verizon. That's huge. That's their highest plan. That's their most expensive plan. It comes with all the perks. That's essentially what Verizon is shooting for to begin with. That means their strategy is working. It's working. 60% chose that plan. And out of the entire base, I'm talking every single Verizon customer that's on board, 27% of that base now is on premium unlimited. So they're fast approaching the 30% mark. That's another big deal. The ARPA, average price per account, Verizon is now at $121. That's insane. That's big. So the money train, if that's what you want to call it, is going to continue rolling Verizon's way. They're going to make money. They increased revenue, operations costs. I mean, everything is up within the company. And they're doing it very strategically. Yes, EBITDA was down a little, cash flow was down due to the fact that apparently last year they got some kind of tax break. So their cash flow numbers were a little higher and the EBITDA were a little higher last year. But other than that, they still almost hit $12 billion of free cash flow. Nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's still huge amounts of money. So what I want to do here now, since I gave you guys the brief summary, I want to speak about this very, very objectively about this quarter. Not trying to spin it negatively for Verizon. It was positive. It was a positive quarter. Just a few takeaways. I can very confidently and positively say that AT&T and T-Mobile are likely to post stronger numbers for Q2. AT&T is reporting in the morning, so I'll be tuned in for that. And T-Mobile posts theirs on the 29th of July. That is a very strong possibility that both of them post bigger numbers than Verizon, which Verizon is likely okay with because T-Mobile had to always push additional promotions throughout the quarters, half off, free lines, free phones, this, to really fluctuate their numbers to be much higher. So Verizon is likely content with that. Verizon said it on the earnings call, all revenue is not created equally, if I remember correctly. So they're playing in two different leagues. But I think if I'm correct, I think T-Mobile is getting ready to put a little bit more pricing pressure on the industry. There's some new promotions that I let you guys know yesterday that are coming out. They apparently are now matching somewhat of a similar promo on their phones. Which is also in this article, so you guys can definitely check that out. So T-Mobile is definitely going to apply some pricing pressure on both AT&T and Verizon. So we'll see if they respond. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see going into Q3 and Q4. So those 2 quarters, Verizon, by history, generally does well in those quarters. They don't lose in those quarters. So we'll see if Verizon can even double the numbers that they just did in Q2. One of the negatives right off the bat, this was announced during the quarterly earnings, during the Q&A. Their 5G phone promos are over. The 5G biggest upgrade, that has ended as of today. So we will see how long they stay quiet in that department. Do they wait until the iPhone launch to bring out a new promo, or do they respond very quickly? It seems like T-Mobile is ramping up. Their new back-to-school promos are very aggressive. They're not free, so they're not free lines, but you can get the line for 50% off. That's, to some, that may be a pretty big deal, especially since those promos are stackable. So you could likely still get a free phone, free device, an iPhone 12, and get the line 50% off. That, in my opinion, to me, is pressure. They're putting pressure on the market. T-Mobile is feeling it too. I mean, they're getting it from Comcast, Spectrum Mobile, Dish is coming in, Boost. I mean, they're going to feel it. So they're going to respond to the market. Since T-Mobile is kind of reluctant on the wholesale market and them not really getting along with Dish, some are saying now that T-Mobile wants to get out of the wholesale space potentially. That's just a lot of people could be reaching, but it seems like they just don't want to entertain that side of the market. So now it's technically T-Mobile against everyone. So they have to compete for those customers now, especially since AT&T is a part of that agreement. So Dish will be on a bigger, better network. So now T-Mobile is going to have to compete for those customers as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Verizon responds. It seems like they're taking their foot off the pedal a little bit by ending that promo. I think if they would have kept that promo going for another quarter and then revamped towards the middle or end of quarter when the iPhone launches, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Unless they have something insanely huge planned for the iPhone launch, then I can see it makes sense to why they get rid of this promo. But right now, you getting rid of that promo, you're giving a very competitive T-Mobile right now and AT&T an advantage early in the quarter. Could they recover? Could they bounce back from that with the iPhone launch? Yes, they sure can. But it's going to be a lot tougher with T-Mobile coming out of the gates with all these back-to-school promos, and AT&T is doing everything for new and existing customers as well. They haven't gotten rid of their promotional offerings, but the carrier that many analysts are saying could struggle a bit with growth in the future, Verizon, they just up and end their promos. That's a tough pill to swallow for many. I've gotten a lot of messages about it, and people are saying, some are saying, is Verizon crazy? Why are they ending their promos now? It's working. So there are some mixed feelings about that. But again, like I said, just looking at it objectively, I think that's a negative, but they could turn that into a positive with the iPhone launch. But I think the environment for Q3 and Q4 for Verizon are going to be insanely competitive. T-Mobile, I know a lot of you are saying that T-Mobile is turning into the carrier, but it seems like they're still flexible enough to play around with pricing on the plans, which Verizon and AT&T don't do. They don't give you lines 3, 4, and 5 50% off. They've never done that. So T-Mobile is actively flexible on doing that. They're stacking the promos. So if you have 1, 2, and 3, and line 3 is for free, and you're only paying for 1 and 2, you can still get line 4 50% off with T-Mobile. So all the promos are stackable. That's very aggressive in the market space, I would say, especially since Verizon and AT&T don't really tweak or offer any discounts on the actual rates of their plans. They compete very aggressively on the promotional offerings for phone, but that's about as far as they go. So again, I just wanted to give you guys my recap, not trying to spin this in a negative way for Verizon. They still had a record-breaking quarter for the company. They still did pretty big numbers. They still bring in a ton of money. The C-band deployment is ongoing. By the way, quick update on that. They confirmed this morning the warehouses are 100% fulfilled with purchase orders. A little bit after the analyst day, I believe they said they were at 50% ordered radios and antennas. They now say they have the 7,000 to 8,000 sites they want to touch. They have everything in the warehouse stateside to be deployed. So they're ready to go. So that money spending is going to come. They already, up until this point, until this announcement this morning, they already spent $8.7 billion for the year on CapEx. That means they have another 11 to 12 billion to run through for the second half of the year. So the annual CapEx, their normal CapEx is 17.5 to 18.5, and then they're projecting to do 2 to 3 billion on C-band alone. So that can push them 19, 20 billion roughly total if they can hit those numbers, which they're saying they're way ahead of schedule on millimeter wave. They're saying they're insanely ahead on that rollout. So they have many more small cells on air than they predicted around this time. So just keep that in mind. Verizon's working. The network is on fire. The company's posting good numbers for the quarter. We'll see if they respond with a truly unlimited plan, more perks. It could happen any day now. So we'll definitely stay tuned. But be sure to check me out tomorrow as well. There's AT&T's quarterly earnings. They're going to do big numbers. I've seen the preliminary numbers. They're going to do big numbers. They're going to do better numbers than Verizon, likely even T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile may have to take a back seat on this quarter. Q1, Verizon was the loser. I don't think T-Mobile loses in this quarter, but I don't think they do the big, extraordinary blockbuster numbers that we're used to seeing from them. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for more updates. If you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel and you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow my social media outlets for more updates and interactions. Also, I will be posting my videos on Twitter. The YouTube notification algorithm, again, is out of whack. A lot of people are still emailing me saying they're not getting the notifications. This is an ongoing problem, so I will make sure to more frequently post them on the Twitter so you guys have access to push notifications on both platforms. And thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.